The Oklahoma Sooners blow another important game if you're a Sooner fan. Huge at home. We're going to have to talk about it right here on Sooner Recap. Welcome back to the Sooners Recap Show. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, here with my co host, Chris Mason. Kchris should be along here shortly. If you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash the red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Mr. Mason,
Yes.
34-26, Oklahoma finds a way to lose a game at home, a game that most people felt like you should be able to establish your defense, play enough offense to win, and it really turns into a shootout instead. Ill-equipped for that feels this Oklahoma offense, if you ask me. This is tough way to lose, and you have to wonder now. You have to wonder now if is Brent Venables out of the woods for his job. You've got 4 games left of this season, 2 of them on the road, one at Alabama, one at Tennessee next week. Then you close out with a tough Missouri squad and a and a team that you've yet to beat in LSU. What makes you think? Or we'll start here.
Let's talk
Tell
about
me
the game.
about this
Let's talk
game.
about that
Let's
game a
let's
little
start
bit.
out with the game today,
Yeah.
and then what is it that we can look forward to? Go ahead.
Well, you play badly on defense, slipping around. You let Chambliss scramble around and pick up third downs and third and longs and that and and Chambliss threw the ball well. Um, part of that is because he kept extending drives that OU should have gotten him off the field and tackled him. You gave up over 400 yards of offense, 300 in the air. You basically smashed their running game, but they ran the ball 41 times. And it was really Chambliss's rushing yards are really the only thing that puts them over 100 yards. It's his scramble yards. You shut down Keywan Lacey for the most part. The big problem is that they ran 86 plays to OU's 60 plays. A little of that is the 2 big chunk plays OU got on offense. Kind of the 1 yard, the 76 touchdown play to Satania, 65 by Xavier Robinson. So you had a couple of quick scoring drives, which put the defense back out on the field again. But, for the most part, there's lots of little nitpicks and minor analysis that you can do about this game. But quite simply, Chambliss kicked Mateer's ass. He outplayed Mateer. Mateer hits Satania on that 4th down play near the red zone with 2 minutes to go. OU's probably, has a chance to get a tying score. If Mateer just hits Blaylock on the 2-point play, OU isn't in such a position. Mateer missed guys left and right. It's the second loss in a row where we're hearing my eyes didn't see it, etc. OU was able to run the ball. Props to Xavier Robinson. He's probably the guy for a wet track, a little bit of a mutter, bigger back. But he did a good job on that touchdown run, the big play. Finally got the 2 big plays we wanted. That we needed. You ran the ball. Your 2 running backs, put up only 15 carries, but 120 yards between them. So yeah, they should have gotten the ball more. OU should have had the ball more, but the defense couldn't get them off the field. Mateer making some strange reads in the run game as well. Should have probably handed to the back quite a bit instead. But it was a strange game. OU's offensive didn't take advantage of the one turnover they got when Lane Kiffin went for that inexplicable 4th and 1 on his own 15.
Trying to handle the game, yeah.
But the defense, didn't. If you had told me OU was scoring 26 points, you asked me, did OU win? I'd have probably said, yeah, I think so. If you'd said Ole Miss was scoring 34 points and you asked me, does OU win? I'd be like, yeah, I don't really see that. So from that perspective, the good on good matchup went the way of the Ole Miss. And offensively right now, we're just not in sync enough, not executing at a high level. If Mateer's going to control the ball 31 times instead of, well, let me rephrase that. If Mateer is going to hold the ball 44 times out of 60 plays, he's got to have more running yards and more passing yards. Just plain and simple. If he's going to do that, he's got to have a higher degree of efficacy, both yardage in the air and yardage on the ground. The John Mateer we saw in the Michigan game has disappeared on us for the most part. And I don't think Ole Miss is much better defensively than Michigan, to be honest. Maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to say. Whatever. You can throw that comment out if you want. But, and again, then you have the Satania fumble. And then, Wine is like close to sacking Chambliss a couple of times. The defense just didn't have their best day. Robert Spears-Jennings had kind of a tough game from most people's perspective. And you had to start, and to start the game, you started your 6th offensive tackle of the year with Ryan Foji, which I think was he struggled, but it was the right call. It was the right move. We'll see. I think it's probably the right move for the rest of the season, but that's probably a topic for a little bit later in this pod. But yeah, but again, I told you this in the green room. If you look at this game and say Brent must go, you thought that before the game, right? There's nothing about this game that is critical failures. I mean, Ole Miss went head-to-head with Georgia in Athens, right? And they came to Norman and went head-to-head, and we basically had a chance to tie the game with 2 minutes left if Mateer just hits a wide-open receiver. So Ole Miss is probably going to go 11-1 and either be in Atlanta and in the college football playoff, or not in Atlanta and in the college football playoff with the home game in Oxford. So, they're a good team. They've got good wide receivers. They've got good players. They got depth. Their O-line is probably the best O-line we've played, I think, this year. And even with that, we got 13 tackles for loss. We're going to get 1 sack. That was the problem. Couldn't sack Chambliss when we needed to. The Amiro 2, that was the dumbest freaking play call I've ever seen. It was a bad play call. I don't know why they didn't just run up the middle. I don't know why they didn't use Robinson to run up the middle. A power back to try and push the line. There were critical mistakes all over the place by Brent, Arbuckle, Mateer, Satania. Had a great day, and then he fumbles, and then he has a good return, and he fumbles the freaking punt, which gives Ole Miss 3 points, which, if we had got the 2, they hadn't got that 3, you're in field goal range to tie the game at 31 with 2 minutes to go and go to overtime maybe. So it's nicks and cracks. It's not wholesale failure. This wasn't like Tennessee at home last year or South Carolina last year or the Mizzou game where you basically snatched defeat from the jaws of at least an overtime. I mean, you played a good team, and we're missing too many pieces. The offense just isn't in a position to win a shootout.
Yeah. The people that are in here saying stuff about not liking the backup, you haven't seen the fucking backup. You haven't seen the backup. And John Mateer is not getting it done. Period. End of story. He's not getting it done. The guy's not making, it's not even about making throws. It's about reading the damn defense and seeing where somebody's wide open. You've got guys running open all over the field and you're not hitting them. You're throwing it into coverage instead. And on top of that, you've got a running back. Mateer's going out there and getting more running attempts than X-Rob, who had 100 yards on 9 carries.
Some of those are scrambles, but nonetheless, you're right.
The point is, why are you not putting the ball into the hands of this running game? You come into the game a week ago, you go on the road, you run the ball, you decide, you make it a guarantee, we're going to run the football here, and you go out there and you do it well, and you win the game on the road. You come home and it's a sloppy field. It's been raining for freaking 3 days here. And you decide that we're just going to get away from that. And let's try to see if we can beat you with our, quote, Heisman quarterback that can't throw.
Well, he made some good throws today, but he's making bad decisions. And he made some bad throws today, too. So, yeah.
The bottom line is the guy is inconsistent. And you can call it, you can say he's good at this, you can say he's good at that. I'm not seeing him being good at anything. I'm seeing him make poor choices. And I'm starting to wonder what it is about this offensive coordinator that what are we doing? Is the only way that you're successful as a coordinator and getting your next job is if Mateer is good? Because I don't see that. The way I look at it is this offensive coordinator needs to put an offense on the field that is going to go out there and put up points consistently and make the right plays against tough football teams and win games. Because I don't see that right now. The 2 biggest games of the season, what we've seen out of this guy is that he has bad tendencies to put the ball into the hands of an injured quarterback. And if he's not still injured with his hand, his brain ain't right.
Okay. I mean, I think, everyone, the super cliche is to bag on the offensive coordinator after a loss, right?
Don't get me wrong; they didn't play up to their potential defensively either. And it's easy to bag on the coordinator, but before I finish this comment and this thought, the real problem is the head coach that doesn't grab a hold of the offensive coordinator by his damn shirt collar and say, "Run the motherfucking football."
Yeah, I mean, Brent needs to do what Bob did, but in terms of telling him to run the football, but really, with the offensive lack of cohesion and continuity we have, right, that Mateer has regressed since the injury, right? We keep swapping out offensive linemen. That's a continual problem. And Mateer's not finding our wide receivers to take advantage of the fact that Gibson and Burks are also open as well. He's kind of, Satanya's doing well from that perspective. It's just, it's frustrating. You should have, with all those things being said, you're leading going into the fourth quarter, and first thing our defense does is gives up a 75-yard drive. I mean, that's not the championship defense we were pitched.
I will give you that.
That's a problem. That's a
75-yard drive. But then you go out there and go 3 and out on the next damn.
Well,
series.
exactly. Well, you're not responding, and this is where we were pitched. We were pitched one thing from John Mateer. We got it early in the season, and then it's regressed since then. So, can you expect? This is where we are. Our running game certainly looks better. Blaylock and X-Rob certainly seems like 2 things you should be hanging your hat on a little more. From that perspective, I don't understand why Arbuckle did that. Again, we scored quickly and Old Miss just kept the frickin' ball from us. So he didn't take full advantage of wearing down their defense like Georgia did, and wearing down their lack of substitution from their, as my brother says it, their big fat guys in the middle. But overall, that's that's where the game's lost is the back to back lack of complementary football to start the fourth quarter. You finally grabbed the lead, you got the ball back, you had grabbed the lead, and then you just gave it away, as you said, big drive, 3 and out, and then all of a sudden, and then you finally get a stop, and then you fumble. You fumble that possession when you had the ball at the 50-yard line, and maybe you could have dedicated some time. The clock would have allowed you to dedicate time to running the ball, right? And you could have had a run-focused drive that maybe would have got you back in the game. But Satania fumbles it. The next time you get the ball back, it's like 4 minutes. You have to go on a long drive. So, if you're wondering whether the running game was there, I'd be like, guys, the clock is forcing you to throw. The clock is forcing the ball to be in Mateer's hands. If you can't recognize that, now maybe when you got past the 30 and it was 2 minutes to go and you still got some time and timeouts, you should have maybe, on the third and fourth down plays, you should have run the ball some more. I get that I get that perspective, but to me, it's just the defense just couldn't stop Chambliss' scrambles. And if they did, we win this game. You stop Chambliss from scrambling and tackle him and don't flop around and miss tackles and let him slide around in the mud, you win this game. Because his big passing plays come after long scrambles which extend drives.
Sure.
So to me, that's... If championship defenses don't do that, and obviously our championship defense kind of got punched today. They punched back, but it got punched today. Couldn't force a turnover.
They weren't able to get their hands on the quarterback, which is a problem. But
yeah,
and when it's sloppy like it is, you can see pressure not getting home as much. But because it's just, you're not going to change directions that well.
That secondary got exposed a little bit today as well.
A lot. Mm-hmm.
So, there were some plays made, but obviously they're short. Chambliss hit guys, and he made some great throws against good coverage. And he made accurate throws against some bad coverage and busts.
Sure. And I think that you can look at this thing and see that, look, there's a difference between the level of experience for both of these quarterbacks. Number one, we're talking about the experience that Mateer came in with, having played a season under Arbuckle and sat a season under Arbuckle at Washington State. But the difference in Chambliss has a couple of national championships under his belt of experience playing,
Yes,
at the lower level, but playing football. So clearly he came in better prepared to win and better prepared to deal with a tough defense that, even though, the defenses are supposed to win championships, and we're not seeing these guys doing, what we want them to do. The question that you had coming in is how good is that secondary when it hasn't really been tested? I think it got tested today, and it was at best a D, because they just weren't very good. And then on top of that, if you're not getting home and tackling these guys, getting a bunch of TFLs or getting even any sacks, then your secondary is going to get opportunity to have to make plays or get busted, and they got busted a lot. It's not good. This tells you a lot about who's. Look, you can say what you want about Arbuckle this, Arbuckle that. Everybody's talking about him as one of the next big things as offensive play callers are concerned. He's got a ways to go before he becomes Lane Kiffin when it comes to play calling.
Well, yeah, and Brent gambled with a younger offensive coordinator. Okay? Got him a quarterback, and he got a guy who he felt like could grow into the position.
Sure.
I think we all saw the common sense. We all saw the rationale behind the hire, right? And Brent's got 4 games left for this thing to play out, and see where we go. I mean, I don't know. Everyone, again, Satterfield. Look. Um, I David Floyd saying Texas Tech is better than OU. Well,
Who gives a shit what
who
they
gives?
think? Yeah.
I care.
Win the Big 12, big boy, and then we'll talk.
Win the Big 12. It's a meaningless comment. And Texas just tied the game. I told you the Mississippi State's going to lose on a punt return. Ryan Niblett is single-handedly saving Texas's season.
Yay for Texas.
So whatever.
Yay for Texas.
Yeah, whatever. 38-38. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, what's the answer, guys? Do you want to fire Arbuckle and have three offensive coordinators in 3 years? What the hell sense does that make?
Okay, well here's what the truth of it is though. And you know what, we can talk about Buckle all you want to. I'm not gonna sit here and call it all about Buckle. Because again, he's the coordinator. The head coach doesn't get involved in the offense. That's not head coaching. I don't care that he's a defensive-minded head coach. I don't care.
Well, Bob was.
You brought it. I know. But Bob would tell you right now to run the football. You remember when Lincoln got there, when Lincoln's first year, and they're doing so well. They got Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon, and they're not getting the football enough. What do you say? We've got Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon over there. Run the football. Figure it out. We're not talking about, this isn't rocket science. And I understand that he's a lot more comfortable calling defenses to go heads up with these high-powered offenses. I get it. I understand that. But in the end, you have to have seen enough football, and you have seen enough football and know enough football to know what wins these kind of games. And it's not going to be going out there and featuring your quarterback who's got a bum thumb and is clearly not seeing the field well, and he isn't as fast. If you want to have a running quarterback, a running game with your quarterback, then you've got the wrong dude in. Because I'm sorry, Mateer hasn't got near the speed that Michael Hawkins has. It isn't close. It isn't close. So, and regardless, I mean, we can sit here and talk about Mateer all you want to. We can talk about Arbuckle all you want to. But the fact of the matter is this is on Brent Venables. This is your football team, Brent. Your record is taking a hit right now.
Well, his career. I mean,
his career is taking. I mean,
you have 4 losable games to end this season.
Absolutely. Okay. And guess what? Playing the way that you're playing, you think you're going to go next week, or for the next 2 games, you've got in 3 weeks. You've got 3 weeks. You've got 2 road games. You're going to Tennessee next week, Knoxville, one of the hardest places in the country to play, regardless of what conference you're in. Going to Neyland is no joke, and guess what? They're going to run the football, and they're going to play decent enough defense to keep, you know what? They're going to be probably better defensively than what you saw out of Ole Miss. But you should be able to move the football. But guess what? If you're not going to figure it out and get the ball and shorten the game because your quarterback's not figuring it out, he's not seeing wide open guys, and then your play calling is heavy on your quarterback being successful, this is a problem. This is a problem. So you're going to lose that game. And if Brent Venables isn't willing to stand there and say, either get him out of the game or run the damn football or whatever it is, then you know what? He's going to lose this job. And I hate it because as much as I like Brent as much as anybody does, I think he has built a defense. I said this last week. Has he already won this job? Has he already made sure that he keeps this job? And to some extent, I believed he did. I believed he already had.
Again, so
here's where I'm at though now. If you go out there and lose even 3 of your next 4, I don't know that I believe that they keep him around.
Well, it's the 8-4, 9-3 dilemma versus 7-5, right? If 7-5, do you make a change this year? I don't know. I mean, the chaos in college football, in coaching right now, and what it will cost you in terms of roster rehaul and everything else. It's a fine line there. Everyone's like, and can you do you roll it back with Mateer and Arbuckle next year? I think for a certain degree you that makes the most sense in terms of continuity and cohesion, and you see if year two clicks in and where you could go. But I could see it's Jim Nagy going to be making that decision, not Joe Consiglione. So I don't know which way Nagy just goes.
Say, since when was Castiglione? He doesn't have the power to hire and fire anymore. Numbnuts. That they're no longer in charge. He's no longer in charge of who's going to be the head coach here. And if you believe that, Christopher Shannon, then you don't pay attention at all, at nothing.
We've said this any number of times in our podcasts. I mean, when we talked about this transition when it occurred, is that one of the reasons why Joe C wanted to move on was because he knew he wasn't going to make he didn't really want to fire Brent, and he knew he wasn't going to be the one that was going to mainly make that decision.
Part of it was his decision of who you brought in as a coordinator last year. Well, that's why he gave him that extra time. But then they decided not to give him any more time, and therefore he's on his way out. He's not making the decision on who the hell's going to be left.
No, it's not. So, Unk says we need a number one wide receiver. I mean, what was Satania doing today? I mean,
guys, what are we talking about, folks? What are we talking about?
I mean,
did we not watch the same damn game just now?
I think we need someone to get the ball into the hands of our receivers. Not, do we need a number one receiver? Ole Miss beat us up with 5 guys today. They didn't need a number one receiver because their quarterback distributed the ball all over the field. So, the Watkins kid had a big game today, but so to speak. But overall, all right. So Jason, let's just cut this down to brass tacks. We've been going for 27 minutes.
It's going to be the shortest of all shorties.
Well, really, what else? Kchris isn't joining us. He's not going to give us some X's and O's breakdowns, and from that perspective, and really, it's one of those classic games. So, based upon what you saw today, what we're seeing today, take the whole season wrapped up in a bundle.
Okay, so what I've seen is 2 seasons. So I've seen, obviously, the pre-SEC schedule before he was hurt.
Yep.
Plus one game where they played Auburn, right?
Right.
He looked like a different player than he looks like now. But now you're seeing, and mind you, they were still turning the football over and stuff, and that's not something that you saw a ton of today. So you got to give them some love there. You didn't have a bunch of turnovers, right? You did have the fumble, and that was significant. It was obviously significant, critical fumble, right?
Yeah.
But the truth is what we've seen in his 2 of his last 3 games playing was that either he's not healthy or
he's average.
He's very average at best. Because what you saw in the Texas game was not even average. It was trash. It was not good, right? Now, I believe wholeheartedly he wasn't healthy. What we saw last week was game manager type stuff, which is fine as long as you win. Nobody cares.
Well, when your defense is shut down the opposing offense,
absolutely.
You can do game management stuff. It's not that big a deal.
No, I'm with you. What we saw today was a failure by the staff to put him in situations where he was going to be successful. And even when you had an opportunity to put him in a situation where they were going to be successful, which is to say, hand off the damn football, give this guy more carries. We don't need you running the ball. Because guess what? You're not even the runner that you were in the first part of the year. He runs tentatively again. I think he's still protecting that thumb. No 2 ways around it. I think he's doing it with whether he's throwing the ball or running it. I think he's protecting his thumb, therefore not running it the same way that he did. And to me, here's where I really feel like you could do. And this is, look, Michael Hawkins has appeared in 2 games. 2 games. He can appear in 2 more and still save his red shirt. Okay, this is what I'm going to finish off, and I'll let you go from there and say what you've got. 2 games left though to put Michael Hawkins in, because here you keep hearing everybody in the side saying, hey, well, Hawkins is better, and we're going to lose him. We're going to lose him. We're going to lose him. You know what? If you're Brent Venables and you really want to save your job, this is what you do. First off, you got to have a come to Jesus meeting with your offensive coordinator. And guess what? Here's the other thing. You're going to need to have a come to Jesus meeting with Michael Hawkins and his family and say, look, I know we want to get you this red shirt. We want to get you this red shirt, but here's the thing. We don't want to give you this red shirt just so you can run off next year, and because we still feel like Mateer's going to be the better quarterback, and he's obviously got to come back for another year. So what we're going to do is we're going to find out, this is a shit sandwich we're going to feed you, but you're going to have to take a big-ass bite. We need you to take the next 2 games, both of them on the road, and we need to find out whether or not you need to redshirt or not. Because either we win both of these games or we lose both of these games, but we're going to lose both of these games the way things are. If we're going to continue playing the way that we are, we're going to lose both of these games anyway. Guess what? We're going to put you in the worst possible situation, Mike. Worst, and see how you do. And guess what? If you win it, then we'll make a decision on whether or not we're going to burn this red shirt or not. Because we'll still be in a position to make the playoff with 2 games left if you win these games. And if you lose one of them and win the other, we still might be in a position to make the playoff with 2 games left. 9-3 is going to make it tough. The point I'm trying to make is stick him in the situation and let's see.
Okay.
That's what you have to do. And it's as simple as that for me. Number 129, go play in fucking traffic, for fuck's sake. God, I can't stand that fucking little bitch. To me, that's what I would do. And find out who this guy is. Because you can say, all the people that want to sit there and say that Michael Hawkins sucks, you can say that if you want to. We're not getting an opportunity to find out. We're not getting an opportunity to find out. And guess what? You send him off somewhere and let him run away because, yeah, he's going to get his red shirt. Well, that's all cool and everything. But now he's going to transfer somewhere and he's going to get 3 years. Because you're going to play Mateer anyway, and you don't even if he stays, or no, he's going to transfer either way. You're going to give him this red shirt. If you don't give him these other 2 appearances, we don't know whether he should be the quarterback or not, because we haven't given him the opportunity. And guess what? If
let's be clear. He's clearly not beaten Mateer in August at all. He's the backup.
Oh, he's not going to. No, he's not going to.
Well, he clearly didn't. He didn't beat Mateer in August.
I don't know that to be a fact, because everything everybody said for going to camp was that he looked fantastic all the time.
Yeah, and he still didn't beat Mateer to start the season.
Why didn't he beat Mateer though? Why? Is it just because he's not better, or is it because Arbuckle is guaranteed going to go with his guy? Which one is it? Because I don't know what it is, and I don't think that you do either, Mr. Mason.
Well, okay. So I've been an OU fan long enough, and an OU fan throughout the 90s and the John Blake era to know the backup quarterback is always the preferred guy. Okay? I'll be honest. I mean, I'll just disagree with you here. Going with Hawkins isn't going to solve anything this season. I'm not
talking about this season necessarily.
Well, but why okay, look, you have very little. Hawkins is not going to play better than Mateer this year. We can disagree on that. That's my opinion. Playing him is doing you no good. It doesn't increase your chances to win any of the games coming up.
Why? If we're running the same damn scheme and doing what we're doing right here, Hawkins is better suited for this scheme that he's running with Mateer. What do you mean?
That's just my opinion, Jason. So
Okay.
that's.
So we're just gonna watch him walk out the door. We're gonna watch him walk out the door without.
I don't think nothing I've seen from him this year or last year tells me that him walking out the door and he's going to go somewhere else and be an elite quarterback. Not yet. He might be, but I don't have evidence that tells me he's going to be an elite quarterback.
Nothing you saw from this year or last year. He hasn't been in the game he hasn't been in the game for a useful play calling. The play caller the entire time he was there as a true freshman.
Yeah.
Was who? Who was calling plays? Who had the game plan? Who had all of it?
Seth Luttrell.
Seth Luttrell. It was Seth Luttrell. We know it was Seth Luttrell. He didn't even get the opportunity to go in whenever it was Joe Jon and Kevin, what's his name? He didn't even get that opportunity.
Yeah, Kevin Johnson or whatever that guy was.
Kevin Johns.
Johns or whatever.
Yeah, he didn't even get that. He comes in and plays one game, and mind you, if nobody else seemed to hear this, but Bill Bedenbaugh said on the coaches show that day that they did a terrible job of protecting him against Kent State, against a really good edge guy that was beating the brakes off of Simmons that day and got him moving his feet around a little much. And he had one bad series. He also had led them to 5 straight scoring drives before that. We haven't seen a game, including against an FCS team, where Mateer's gone out and led 5 straight scoring drives. You haven't seen it.
Okay. That's your argument. I know you passionately believe it. I'm telling you that I don't think there's any point playing Hawkins in their next 4 games unless Mateer's hurt.
I said the next 2 games is what I said.
Okay, well, but why are you playing him on the road if you're not going to play
him
at home?
Because what chance do you have of winning these damn games with Mateer playing on the road? You don't have one. In my opinion, what's your shot? Okay. What's the shot? So it gives you an opportunity to say, okay, we're either still going to be in this game, or we're still going to be in this, or we're not, or we're out of the playoff race today. What's it going to be?
Okay.
Because even if I'm not positive that Hawkins goes on the road and beats Alabama in 3 weeks, I'm not positive that he can't go on the road and beat Tennessee. We watched Georgia do it without a defense. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm not really sure I follow the logic of that argument, but all right.
The point I'm making is he could go out there and win next week, or you can send Mateer out, do the same thing we've been doing, and we're going to lose that one too. And then you're going to go, I mean, I don't know. I want to find out. I don't know. We don't know that he's going to be any better. You're right about that part. We're not sure.
It could be a lot worse.
Oh, could it be?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I haven't seen that.
It could be. I mean, it's...
It could be a lot worse. It could be, but it could be. I mean, for that matter, you put him with Neubauer for fuck's sake. He can't be a lot worse than this.
Okay, all right.
It can't be a lot worse than this. There's no way it can.
Okay.
Look, I think there's a lot to be done. I think the biggest thing that you're going to find out really quick is whether or not Brent Venables is willing to take this team and make a decision on what's going to happen with it. Or is he just going to go out with a fucking whimper?
Well, I mean, again, so he's got 4 losable games. He's got 2 more winnable games. Missouri just lost their quarterback today. Bo Prabula just broke his ankle. So they're going to be starting their true freshman. Mysterious Black, I don't think that's accurate. But maybe I'm wrong. And you've got an LSU team that, who knows what they'll be when they show up in Norman. They could have righted the ship, or they could be flailing, ready to, half their seniors could be sitting out because they're 8-4, 7-4, and Brian Kelly's taking the Penn State job the night before they play us. They play us in Norman. Anything's possible with LSU with the remaining of their season. I just don't think. I think your better odds are a healthier Mateer. I think the thumb stuff is still screwing around with both how he plays the game from a running perspective and his accuracy. He seems to be getting better week over week, maybe, and going from that perspective. So, but this is where you leave yourself, right? You've lost two games, and you leave yourself open to all of these suggestions about things. Mateer's not played well. Arbuckle's play calling today was inconsistent. He should have try and leverage the running game more. Mm-hmm. Brent got caught that his defense that had been winning games for him, had been locking down games in the fourth quarter, got exposed. Gave up a long drive, let the lead took the football, gave their defense a break, and then you fumbled the ball when you had seemed to perhaps get some momentum back, to perhaps have a chance to do a running drive with time, get a touchdown, take time off the clock, put your defense back on the field, and try and win the game that way. So I think there was the fourth quarter mistakes is what highlights all of this. It wasn't. Again, you weren't completely overmatched. You weren't completely. You didn't. It's not like you can say we didn't belong in the same field with these guys. We just made more mistakes in the fourth quarter than they did. And when you're talking a one possession game, it's the margins are just so narrow. And fumbling the ball, defense not getting a third down stops and stopping a touchdown. Those things all lead to you losing a football game, especially when you give up a stupid safety and you miss a 2-point play where he just needs to hit Blaylock in the hit Blaylock that's right there, wide open. It was schemed perfectly fine. Just hit him in the hands, and it's a 2 points, and the 2 points changes that game a little bit. But this is what happens when you lose these games. You expose yourself. Go on the road to Rocky Top, win, and then it's we're stuck in a overreaction meter both ways with this team, right? Because we keep playing. We don't have any easy games and easy wins where, it's just obvious. I mean, maybe South Carolina, who took Alabama to the brink today, the same freaking team we steamrolled, took Alabama to the freaking brink. So you just don't know which way it's going to go. But I think Brent's job depends upon an improved Mateer or his defense just playing some absurdly awesome football in some of these games. But he's got to win 2 of them, because I think 7-5. I don't know you bring him back at 7-5.
I don't think you do, and I think that I'd feel a lot better about Venables if he was going out on his sword saying, "Damn it, I want to go with it." There was something that he saw in Michael Hawkins to make sure that they brought him back no matter what. There's something that they've seen in him that they wanted him here, and yet you're going to walk out. You're going to just go out on your sword, or not even on your sword. You're going to go out on your damn shield. You're just not doing anything. You're just going to sit there and watch this. And what Shotty's saying right here, he's taking away the ability of the defense to play how they want because he doesn't compliment them anymore. And that is a factual statement. It's the same thing that we saw against Texas. They dominate the first half. The second half, it's a long drive that gets them a little tired, right? Then you go out there and you go 3 and out. They've somehow found a way to make a stop there, and you get a fumbled punt. I mean, look, the bottom line is the defense was not put in a position to be good. You say they got exposed. They got exposed by their offense.
Well, they got exposed. They got exposed on defense because they couldn't. They got exposed a little bit on defense, right? They did.
They ran 20 more something plays, almost 30 more plays than what Oklahoma ran.
26 plays. But a lot of that is the third down, couldn't get them off the damn field.
Okay.
Third down scrambles, couldn't get them off the damn field. But if you take advantage of Kiffin's screw up and you put that ball in the end zone, If you had you had chances on the offensive side of the ball today to complement when the defense was playing well, and you just didn't do it. You muted yourself.
Brandon, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? I know that everybody wants to just assume that he's not very good. I know that we want to make that assumption over one series against Kent State. I know that we want to do that. But I'm telling you, I want to see it with my own eyes before I just write the kid off when we're watching the other quarterback play like hammered hell.
Okay.
That's what I want. I don't care whether, look, they're either not going to make it or they're not going to make it. I don't know I don't know which way they're not going to make it, but they're probably not going to make it at this point. I get it. But in the one opportunity that you have to still go out there and figure it out, you're not willing to go do it, then you get what you get. Look, we know one thing is this quarterback is not getting it done right now. I don't care that everybody just knew he was going to be great. Come on. I'm not positive that he was ever going to be great, but you know what? He looked really good in the first 4 games. I'll give you that. He doesn't look like that same dude anymore. And if we're going to sit here and act like it's been 3 games now that we've watched him not be that guy. We're talking about 3 plays that we saw Michael Hawkins struggle in the Kent State game. And then we're telling everybody that he cannot be a good quarterback because of 3 plays. I'm not with you guys on this. I'm not with you. And I'm not buying your bullshit about a true freshman thing either, Mr. Mason. I'm not hearing it. He was a true freshman playing for a god-awful offensive coordinator in a bad way.
I've for the most part flushed most of what we got from last year.
You just told me a few minutes ago that nothing you saw last year or this year has made you think that he's any good. You haven't seen him this year except for a couple of plays. One game.
I saw
that game that you're talking about, he led 5 straight scoring drives. We have not seen that from John Mateer against anyone.
Okay.
We haven't.
Okay, it is you are correct. I mean, this is where you are. This is the hill you're dying on. Okay? This is a hill I'm not willing to die on. And that's just literally where we are. You're willing to die on this hill. I'm not willing to die on this hill.
I'm just hoping that they're not going to give up the entire season with 4 games left saying, oh, well, this is the best we got when we haven't decided that. We haven't guaranteed and made
he's
sure
obvious,
that he's the best
Jason,
we've got.
He's obviously not out practicing Mateer.
I don't know that I agree with you. Because, again,
the coaches
the
are just starting guys that they don't think are better?
For a second? Would you let me finish for a second?
I'm going to go on
How many times have you heard Teddy and Gabe and anybody else who has actual access to practice tell you how fantastic Hawkins is in practice? You've heard it over and over and over again. We haven't heard that he's terrible. We have not heard that. We heard Teddy and Gabe say that he didn't have a great game in the second half against Kent State. And I'll give you that. I will give you that. I guess I'm the only one that watched Bill Bedenbaugh say, yeah, we did not do a good job of protecting him in that game. He got a little happy feet. That is guaranteed our fault. We needed to do a better job of protecting him. Nobody else seemed to see that on that coach's talk show. Nobody. And I feel like, to me, what we're doing is we're allowing Arbuckle to come in here and make the choice that, you know what, my success and failure is going to go with John Mateer. Not with this offense. It's going to go with John Mateer. Even though his success and failure, if he fixed another quarterback, would be his success would go through the fucking ceiling now. But that's not where he's at. He's all on this my guy thing. The guys that I recruited and brought in. That's where he's at. Cool. That's good for you and all. But I'm just telling you, I want to see Michael Hawkins not be good enough for you to worry about playing him moving forward. That's what I want to see. That's it. I'm done with it.
Okay.
You can rebut, and we'll finish this.
Okay, so The rebut is pure and simple that you're not going to see this. Okay? So you can keep banging on this hill, but we're not going to see it. John Mateer's starting against Tennessee and he's starting against Alabama unless he gets injured again. Okay? And he's starting the last 4 games of this season. So you're not going to see this. And honestly, if Hawkins was out practicing Mateer, I don't honestly believe that they would play Mateer instead. If they think Mateer gives them the best chance to win these football games. So there's nothing to indicate otherwise. So that's where we are. I think a QB change is not going to get us anywhere to get us the results that we need. It's not going to do it. Now, and that may be because they haven't given Micah a chance, or he's not practicing enough for the first. I don't know, whatever you want to say. But if you think that's the change that should be made, I'm telling you, okay, that's not where I am, but also it's not going to happen. So you got it out of your system. Happy for you, but it's not going to happen.
I didn't say it was going to happen. I said it should happen.
Well, somewhere between it's not going to happen and it should happen in your mind. It's not going to be. Is there a level of play from Mateer that will have him get benched?
No, apparently not.
So
apparently not. He could throw 3 interceptions in the fucking game and they don't put him on the bench. So
yeah, I mean that's certainly happened against Texas.
Against Texas, for fuck's sake.
Well, yeah. I mean, so, but we'll see. I mean, obviously, he's got to somehow pull 2 games out of his ass, and Texas wins in overtime because Mississippi State is just Mississippi State. Yeah, he's got to somehow. Brent's got to find 2 wins. I don't know where he finds them from. I don't know how he gets them. And he's got 2 running backs. If I was him, like you, where I completely agree with you, is I would be stating we need to emphasize our running game with our running backs more heavily against Tennessee and Alabama, shorten the game, keep our defense off the field, and do the things that we didn't do against Ole Miss. But, if the secondary is still leaking big pass plays against Ty Simpson and Joey Aguilar, it's not going to make a difference because you're not going to be able to put up enough points to stay with those guys. But I didn't see Alabama almost losing to South Carolina, so I guess anything's freaking possible.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I think I just don't see anything, and there's nothing out there, nothing from anybody recently since September 1st that says Hawkins is out practicing or out playing.
Yeah, but that's because everybody is so hung up on it. Everybody's so hung up on Mateer, man. Everybody's hung up on what they thought they saw in those first 4 games, and we're not seeing that either.
No, we're not seeing that either. The big thing we're not seeing to me is the running game. He's not running the ball like
he's not seeing streaking receivers running down the field.
Well, he was missing guys in the first couple of games too. But the big thing is he's not making plays with his feet in both the running game and extending plays and extending pass plays. So, yeah,
I don't know what we would. Okay, I'm sure we'll get back to this at some point. We got one more game this week on the road. We got a game before the bye on the road this week coming up, Tennessee. We'll be back out here for, you've got your Monday night show.
Yes, we'll talk recruiting. That kid's in town. Had lots of kids in town. 2 wide receivers they want to flip. A big tight end from Oklahoma State that they might want to flip. So,
yeah,
he's a big kid.
I'm ready to flip. I'm ready to flip to this freaking awesome offense we're running over here. I love it.
It's more awesome than whatever. More awesome.
It's definitely better than the Okie Light offense. Yes.
So yeah, I mean, we could. That's that's maybe not too much of an aspirational goal.
That's like hey, listen, I won the 1-legged ass kicking contest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the only thing I would say is that this wasn't a loss to a bad football team. Ole Miss is talented. They have talent. They have matchup issues, I think, which gave OU problems today. And that was the main thing was Chambliss is scrambling. Just like Gabe said, got to contain his scrambling. And we didn't do that, and it burned us all flipping day. And stopped our defense from being the defense that we've seen all year. If they could have stopped some of these scrambling bullshit on third and longs and second and 15s and stuff, and gotten sacks, it would have been a different day at the office. We could have maybe got the ball more, ran the ball more, and had a different scenario into the fourth quarter. But that's not what we got. So
not at all. It sucks. Tough loss for Oklahoma. What's worse is what it points to in the future for me. I'm concerned about it. I think that in a time where, as I said, I think last week I felt like maybe he had won enough games already and started the season in a way that it would put you in a position where you don't think they could fire him. I'm at the point now that I'm not sure that there's a way that they keep him. And I don't know. And it's wild to me that you're going to flip your mind like that. But to be honest with you, I don't know that there's going to be a way they can. If you can't go out and win at least two of these games, yeah, they're not going to. But I don't know that you do if you just win. If you just get to 7, I don't think that you can even do it. I just don't know that you can.
The problem is that we can't seem to sustain momentum.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I mean, we can't game over game sustain momentum. Maybe the schedule is a barrier to that a little bit. But the schedule is what it is. You've got to get momentum. It's like you go out to South Carolina after Texas and you play a good game, and then you turn around and you make mistakes again, and you can't maintain the momentum against Ole Miss. Because if you beat Ole Miss, you're 7-1, and then you've got 4 games in front of you, and you're in a much better place. Now we're going to go on the road for 3 weeks, basically, because we have a bye week in between. And every game you lose, the more you'll be seeing Brent added to the damn hot seat podcasts and talking heads everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you 6-2. There's no point to say Brent's on a hot seat right now would be silly. But the problem is the 4 games out in front of us, right? That's the problem, and that you could be facing a 3-game losing streak. That puts you on a hot seat. That adds you to the potential Brian Kelly conversations and everything else. You're on mute.
There's no way he keeps the job at that point. You go on a 3-game losing streak, you're out. He may not make it to the last week on a 3-game losing streak.
We'll see. I mean, if he wins the last 2 games and you have momentum into the offseason, he's fine.
I don't know that. What momentum? You just gagged away your opportunities.
Wins or momentum. They are. Winning solve all ills. If you beat Missouri and LSU and you end the season.
Missouri has a brand new quarterback now. Prbula's out.
I'm just saying that if you win the last 2 games, you'd have enough momentum to go into the offseason. So
I think that's tough.
It's not ideal. It's where you by not beating Ole Miss and not beating Texas, it's where you put yourself. Yes, I get that. But if he wins the last 2 games with the environment everywhere else, I think I think
you got to go to Tuscaloosa and win for him to keep his job.
You only need one of the road wins.
Okay.
I mean, if they beat Tennessee next week, which I don't think they're going to do, but right now, but we'll see when we get to that, and then the matchups may dictate something different. Maybe, I don't know. But if you beat Tennessee and you're 7-2, and you have the potential of winning 2 home games, you go to Tuscaloosa and you go 9-3 with this schedule. Preseason, everyone would have said, that's great, that's fantastic, that's the momentum you need going forward. If you're arguing, the argument, if OU goes 9-3, which again looks like
I didn't say 9-3. Whoa, that's not what I said. I said 7-5. He's out.
No. So if you lose to, you've got Ole Miss. If you go
to 9-3, he stays. There's no 2 ways around it.
8-4, I don't think you fire him. 7-5, I think he's gone.
I think it depends. I think that what you're saying, when you lose a home game, and you've lost 3 or 4 to Texas and haven't had a touchdown in those 3 losses, I think that you're in more
Okay.
at 8-4 even. But we'll see. All I'm saying is I'm not feeling good about their chances going down the stretch at all. I'm not.
Well,
And
they
not
got
because I don't think that there's talent there, because I think that you have coaches that aren't willing to do what they need to do to win.
okay. Well, I think that that's 4 losable games, it's 3 winnable games. Alabama, I think, is going to be out for blood for us for us in Tuscaloosa because of the year before. 8-4, you know, I just that's Kerwin Terry. That I appreciate what you're saying, but that's just not realistic.
I don't think that he has to win out. I think that he needs to win a big game, though. And I think that you need to show that there is, because here's the thing, though, even like beating Alabama, are you really carrying some momentum into next season? I don't know. But I mean, we carried momentum because of Alabama last season, and it's
Well, no,
turning
and
into
then
this.
you lost momentum with Missouri, and then you lost momentum with LSU.
Fact.
If you somehow beat Tennessee and defend home field against whatever Missouri and LSU are by the time they show up in Norman, okay, if you do that, you have off season momentum, because if you beat LSU and Mizzou and you beat Tennessee, you probably put some better things together offensively, and the defense has rallied to playing at their elite level.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see how you do it otherwise. You can't play like shit and beat Tennessee and then beat Mizzou and LSU. I mean, you're going to have to raise the level of your game and play better.
Yeah, I don't know how much better you have to be to beat Mizzou, but we'll see.
But we'll see. I mean, we don't know where they are right now. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Looks like Prbula may not be in, but we'll see.
Well, they have a freshman quarterback, and and whatever that means. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that if you're able to salvage the back end of this season, and you beat Mizzou and LSU, and you've somehow beaten Tennessee, and you're 9-3, you're not going to the playoffs because there's too many 10-2 SEC teams out there. That's not going to possible. It's not going to work. But you'd have a lot of momentum going into the offseason, going from 6-6 to 9-3. With 2 home wins, beating Mizzou and beating LSU. So, a win's a win, right? That's what all the SEC homers and all the SEC podcasts telling us. Any SEC win is a good win. So we'll take it from there.
True.
Sooners for life. I don't know that they're the best team in the SEC, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'm out of here.
Peace out.
Peace out.
All right, guys. Have a good one. See y'all on the next one.